I'm used to this. You need to. Okay. First of all, I'm Berlin Best. I'm the CEO of the Greater Yakima Chamber of Commerce here in Yakima. This is a really great day for us. The services provided here and the care is much needed in our community, and I always say this organization is a blessing for us to have. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Jodi, and she will share a few words with us also. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys, thanks for coming. Small but very, very powerful group, and we appreciate that. We appreciate the support. So first of all, I just want to let you guys know that we're commemorating our 50th year as an organization in this agency, and that's pretty remarkable, I believe. So we started in 1972, July 1st actually, so we're coming upon that date. I think more remarkable is we started providing methadone services in 1973. So not long after, we opened our doors doing some kind of basic outpatient services as well as some crisis services. So this is a great day for us. So the methadone clinic in and of itself has been here for quite a while. Today though, what we're really celebrating is our ability through a couple of different organizations to be able to renovate this space so that we're really providing more of a welcoming and healthy environment for those who need our medication-assisted treatment services. So years ago when we developed this space, it was pretty tiny. It was a space that literally was so congested you came in and you came out. And one of the things that we hated as staff was to watch clients kind of just stand literally on the sidewalk waiting to come in. So we were gifted some money by a very supportive board of directors, as well as encouragement through what we call the Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinic grant. It's a federal grant from SAMHSA, and that really encouraged us to consider and be innovative around how can we provide high quality, quicker access to clients. And so this development behind us is really about how do we become more efficient and how do we become more welcoming so people want to walk through our doors and take that first step towards recovery. So we're pretty pleased that you're here to see this, and I'm going to actually turn it over to our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Garner, just to say a few words about our medication-assisted treatment program.
Thank you, Jodi. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be the CMO for this organization, and it's really a great pleasure to be able to have such a fine chemical medical treatment program. A couple comments I wanted to make about just what this means for people. Initially, what it means is that they have an opportunity to stop the cycle of desperately trying to find where they're going to get their next substance, whatever it's going to be. What we look towards, though, is in a much larger view, which is how do we treat this entire person, not just what they're going through right at the moment with habituation, but everything about them. Medically, we do a medical evaluation. We're always looking at the whole person in that way. We do, for example, an EKG on everybody who comes in. We do that, as well as chemical studies and medical treatment and studies appropriate to the person. So we're looking medically. We're looking at maybe what some of the effects of the substances that they have used have done to them, how we can address that. We also then are looking at emotionally what has happened to the person. Many people have been traumatized. I mean, all of us have in some way or another. That's one of our ways that we look at ourselves as in this agency as a whole, is we try not to traumatize each other or re-traumatize each other. And we're always then addressing that with people. But emotionally, how can people come to terms with their own feelings and maybe other ways of dealing with their emotions? So we have medical, physical, emotional. We're looking at mental issues too. People are often depressed, have anxiety issues. They may have other psychiatric disorders, and we address those. And then the hardest thing to talk about really is spiritual issues. So address spiritual issues. Well, what do I mean by that? I'm not really talking about religion, but I'm talking about how does a person relate to something greater than themselves? How do they come to terms with having a better sense of value about themselves? So medically assisted treatment, MAT, really means treatment, and then we're adding medication to that so that people can settle into a normal routine and life and actually do the work of being a person and being more of a person. The exact substances we use essentially mostly are methadone or Suboxone, and we make decisions when people first come in about what we think is going to be most appropriate for them, and that may change. I won't go into all of that. I'm not going to bore you with neurochemical stuff. But that's really what this program means, is that we have a team of people who are wrapping around, engaging this person, and wanting to help them through whatever the process is. And I could talk more about that individually. I'm not going to take any more time. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. And then I would like to introduce one more person. We have an esteemed board member here who has really become a subject matter expert on overdose. And so, Megan, will you please step forward? Thank you.
So, my name is Megan Tweedy, and my brother Jeff Meyer died February 24th, 2020 of a fentanyl overdose. Losing him was catastrophic. The ripple effect of grief 2 years later is still widespread and far-reaching. How do you capture the essence of someone in a few minutes? Pay tribute to the beauty, compassion, humor, and love, and acknowledge the darkness of the disease. Jeff was the baby of the family and everyone's favorite. 6'4", he lit up the room. People gravitated to Jeff. He was charismatic, funny, one of the most quick-witted people I have ever met. He was caring, loyal, generous, a friend, and a sensitive soul. He was an owner in our family business where he was as comfortable driving the forklift as he was running the warehouse. His crowning achievement was being dad to Emma and Ella, who are navigating the nuances of life without a free-spirited and naturally intuitive father. Jeff was also an addict, a chaotic puzzle with pieces scattered everywhere that no amount of sorting, organizing, categorizing will ever reveal the perfect landscape. It provides glimpses of a disease that is messy, filled with shame and grief. It touches every part of your life, impacts every relationship. Those who suffer from it are not sent flowers. They don't wear pink or any survivor paraphernalia. As I've devoured books, podcasts, my own personal reckoning with stigma and shame, and meeting after meeting with public health officials, law enforcement, judges, doctors, and the hardest, witnessing the grief of those whose loved ones have died by overdose, I have solidified my one piece of the pie, preventing death by overdose. Medication-assisted treatment can reduce fatality by 50%, which is why I am so grateful for the work Comprehensive does. As I continue my work advocating for those who no longer have their voice, I can assure you I will fight for removing the many, many barriers to treatment as I get up each day unburdened by the effects of a rampant and rapidly growing disease where I am shamed and stigmatized. I will speak out about substance use disorder for what it is, a complex illness that requires easy access to treatment rooted in science and compassion. Until we all remove the mask of stigma and see that underneath we are facing an epidemic that is killing our young, our old, regardless of race or religion, of wealth or poverty. We will continue to comfort those ravaged by loss. Our loved ones were beautiful and flawed. They were human.
You know, the new statistics that have come out just today from the National Council of Wellbeing, Mental Wellbeing, states that 43% of adults right now are saying they cannot get access to substance abuse treatment. And of those that did receive treatment, 81% said there was many barriers to treatment. Some of those barriers were access. We're in the middle of a workforce shortage. That's something all of us are working on. Some of those were because of lack of diversity, having the right counselor to be able to assist them towards their level of recovery. And the last one is proximity of care. So that proximity of care is important as the first two for us to be dealing with in our rural areas and our access points like jails and homeless centers. So we, at Comprehensive Healthcare, want to make sure that we're starting to work through some of those, towards some of those access points, so that everyone that wants to be intervened upon and move towards recovery can. Not everyone wants to walk through this door, and we as a community need to have a community discussion on how we serve them better.
That's right.
So, thank you. All right, you ready? You guys ready?
And back.
Thank you guys.